Hey guys, this is Matt Chieco from Pop Review Movie Podcast, and today we're entering the spoiler zone. Happy Memorial Day weekend. If you're not watching this when it's Memorial Day, happy weekend, happy day, happy whatever. So today, because I took off for a little bit, and I'm trying to play catch up. I'm doing a lot of double features, triple features. So today, double feature, Top Gun Maverick and the Bob's Burgers movie. This is a spoiler alert, just to let everyone know. We're in the spoiler zone. Just a warning. Here we go. So we're going to start with Top Gun Maverick. Now I'm going to start by saying possibly something controversial. I watched the original Top Gun right before seeing Top Gun Maverick. I don't like that movie whatsoever. Don't come at me. But I will say something maybe that will redeem me after saying that controversial statement. I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick. So the big reason why I didn't like the original, we're going to quickly establish this, then we'll get into the movie. I thought there was no stakes. I thought there was no story. I just really didn't like it. I thought the only good part was the visual effects and how back then they did the flying. I thought the aerial stuff was pretty cool. It's just the original really didn't grab my attention. I kind of lost interest very early on. But the second one, I really enjoyed it. I was actually pretty shocked by how much I enjoyed it. Because luckily this movie didn't fall into a lot of the problems that the first one had. There were stakes, there was emotion, there was comedy, there was heart. And a lot of times when blockbuster movies try to do that kind of stuff, it can go overly cheesy or over the top. This one really had that fine line and did a really good job of doing it. And I mean, I was at the edge of my seat, which I kind of was surprised because just the original, I barely paid attention to it. Like, don't come at me. I probably will because I'm like, if you love Top Gun, enjoy it. So for Top Gun Maverick, the one thing that really surprised me was the acting because at first I'm like, oh wow, there's stakes, there's all this stuff like I said before, and then I was like, the acting is at a level that I was actually not expecting. Because you go into a summer blockbuster and you don't know what to expect. And this one, I was pleasantly surprised. Everyone was really good, except for one person. I'll get to that later. Everyone was really good. The stars of this movie were Tom Cruise and Miles Teller. They kind of really surprised me about how good they were. And, let's give a round of applause to Miles Teller. He's back in the game because I feel like ever since Fantastic Four, the reboot, he's been trying to, run from that movie. And no one's been wanting to hire him because it was so bad and just not well received. Overall, critics, audience, not well received. So I feel like finally this movie kind of shook that kind of past of him, and he was able to blow past and fly right past, pun intended, past that movie. And now he's back where he was back in his Whiplash days. So I'm really happy because he was really good, and he also he looked like Goose, that looked like the actor. I think that was perfect casting for his son. Perfect, really good. And Tom Cruise, I didn't care for him in the first Top Gun, and I feel like he's more of a stunt man, but this one really showed and there's some movies that show him as a good actor, but this one really was one of those lists of he's a really good actor, in this movie, not just for the stunts and for the showmanship. He was very good, and he had he kind of went there, and I thought I was really impressed by it. And another thing that it didn't surprise me, but it took from what I liked. The one thing I liked about that movie, the original Top Gun, was like I said, the aerial, and Top Gun Maverick took it and literally blew it out of the water. It was amazing, and I think from what I'm reading was because either they were actually flying some of the planes, which kind of blows my mind, or they were in the plane while they were being flown like that. So it was real reactions because I read they had really small setups in the plane, so I don't know if they were flying it or if they were just in it while it was being flown. But they took the special and they took the visual effects, and it was amazing. I think it's a contender for best visual effects for the Oscars, and I think that's what like I said before, Tom Cruise has become the kind of showman, the stuntman. What kind of crazy stunts can he do? And this one took that how can he top whatever he's usually doing? And it also had a good story, like I said, heart, comedy, emotions, stakes, really good stuff, really good action. The flying sequences are amazing. And I feel like this showed both of his acting side and his stuntman side, which I thought was really impressive. And I really do feel like this movie, because of, if you read about it and actually how they filmed it and stuff like that, it can be contender for an Oscars. Definitely best song, because the Lady Gaga song "Hold My Hand" is amazing. Best sound, best visual effects. I really think if Avatar wasn't coming out this year, I would say it has a very good chance of winning. But we have to see what Avatar does. Cinematography, even like I really do think it has some chances at some Oscars, at least nominations. And I think because everything was so real, and like that was his thing. Like he said, I'm not making this movie unless it's real. Like he doesn't want CGI and all that. And I think that enhanced the movie, and it made it even better to see on the big screen, because like you just felt like it was real. Like you felt like you were just watching like a documentary almost. It was kind of in a weird way, and which I really appreciated that aspect of it. Now, the two things I didn't love about it: number one, Jennifer Connelly. I didn't like her acting. I didn't think her purpose in the story was needed whatsoever. You could have taken all her parts out and kind of tweaked it a little bit, and the movie would have been even better. So I really feel like that was whatever they got to her, I was like, this is unnecessary, taking me out. I didn't care for it. And the second was, I feel like the beginning, because they were trying to be like, what did we miss between Top Gun 1 and Top Gun 2? They were trying to be like, well, this is what was happening. And I feel like, I understand you need to set up the story and all that. I get that. But I feel like if they would have just kind of started at him at Top Gun, saying like why he's there, and really hit the ground running, because once he was at Top Gun, the story was great and it was such fast pace and really good. But I feel like the beginning kind of was like catch up to people, like being like, oh, this is what happened, because it's been so long for the movies. And I feel like if they were to maybe just like, I understand that, like I said, they were trying to set up the story, but if they would have just started at Top Gun and kind of just filled you in, I would have rather that, because maybe because I just saw the movie like a day before watching it, so I was like, wait, how does this connect? Like, because you it was fresh, like both were fresh in my mind. But yeah, I would give this like a 9 out of 10. And like, I was not expecting to like this movie, because I was just like, oh, I have no interest. I didn't see the first one, whatever. And I saw the first one, I was like, I don't like this movie. So when I saw the second one, I was like, wow, that was, besides my two little criticisms of it, and some of those a little nitpicky, like this movie was really good. And it's like a great summer blockbuster that's actually has some substance to it. And oh, and I forgot, Val Kilmer was back, which was nice to see him. Even though, like, with all the stuff going on with him, it was nice to see him cameo in the movie. It was just a really enjoyable summer blockbuster, like I said, with substance, instead of just like, a popcorn flick. So I really enjoyed it. 9 out of 10. We're moving on to the second movie, Bob's Burgers. Now, I've watched the show. I've kind of fallen off a little bit, but I enjoy the show when I see it. It's really funny. It's just my kind of humor, stupid humor. And this movie truly had the essence of Bob's Burgers TV show. It really did, which I really enjoyed that part. But my biggest problem was that I feel like they had a couple ideas for shows and like, well, let's just make this into a movie. This will be the movie. And I feel like they were really stretching for that hour and 40 minutes, because after a half hour, I kind of looked at my phone and I was like, I'm a little taken out of it because I'm a little bored, because like there's a lot of filler in it. And I feel like if they were in like a Disney Plus like supersized like TV movie, like maybe just an hour, like maybe it would have been a little better. But when it had that Bob's Burgers elements, the music, the jokes, and like the style and stuff like that, and like the essence, like I said before, I loved it. But when it was trying to fill time, I was kind of like, okay, like I feel like it's better as a TV show. It's hard because I liked it, but there was also like the stretching out, filling out part was a real big problem for me, because I was just like kind of looking at my phone and being like, I feel like we're just here because they said they wanted to make a movie and they had to just fill some time. But the references for the fans, like people in my audience, like people in my theater were like loving it. And I was like, you got the kind of Easter eggs, which I loved, and little references, which I loved. But I just feel like it would have been maybe better as a supersized TV movie, like maybe just an hour on Disney Plus or something like that. So I don't know. It's a little hard to rate it, because I'm like, I liked it, but it's like a 7.58. I really can't decide which one, so I'm just going to leave both numbers there. I think it might have gone more 8 if it was more of a musical, and like it was like a full-on musical with a bunch of musical numbers instead of just a couple, because I feel like Bob's Burgers is with the music, and I feel like if they would have had more, I would have been like, oh, like the filler, if they would have filled it with more music, I feel like the filler wouldn't have been as boring. But yeah, so that's why I'm like 7.58. If there was more music, probably would have been 8. So I liked it, but I was like, both movies had a part that I was taken out of, but Top Gun just like was so good that like I didn't care at some point. While Bob's Burgers, I felt that taken outness more. And that is a double feature. I would love to know what you thought of these two movies down below in the comments. Once again, I hope you enjoy your Memorial Day. If you're watching this after Memorial Day, I hope you're enjoying whatever day you're watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Cheers.